There's a me out there.
Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Liberty Lake Parks and Arts Commission. Today is Monday, November 3rd, 2025, and it's 4 p.m. We'll start out with our roll call of commission members. Nancy Hill, myself, that I'm present. Dave Heimbaugh.
Present.
Joe Dave is online. Laura Frank.
Present.
Katie Ferris.
Present.
John Barr.
Present.
Noelle Otterson Laparco. Is she online? Okay, Nicole Noel's not with us. Bob Schneidmiller is absent. He shared that he wouldn't be able to come. And Joni Hay
Present.
and Gary Edwards.
Present.
Our vacant student commissioner, hopefully position will soon be held, but we don't have that person. And then we have our staff today. I don't see Tate. Mikhail Stevens, is Derek online?
He is.
Derek Kazanski and Jen Camp are here, along with some other support staff. So we'll get going with the approval of the October 6, 2025 minutes. And I want to point out on the top of page 2 that in the first paragraph, Ridgeline High School should be struck from the record. And in the second paragraph, Ridgeline should be replaced with Kramer. There's just a little error. We've already done the Ridgeline High School wrap. Those are the two corrections that I've observed. Does anybody have any other edits or comments? All right, then I'll need a motion to approve the corrected minutes from our last meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, moved by Laura, second by David. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, please show it passed unanimously. Moving on to citizen comments. Do we have any citizens in the office that would like to make a comment? We would love to hear from you. All right, why don't you come on up to the microphone? And just state your name for the record.
I'm Anna Robbins.
I'm Willa.
Welcome. What would you like to share?
She wants to talk about some of the equipment for the park.
Okay, for the Pavilion Park Playground?
Yeah.
What would you like to see there?
I think that there should be swings there and some bigger equipment for bigger kids because some bigger kids still like to play on playgrounds, but here in Liberty Lake there are mostly little playgrounds like at Rocky Hill and the many neighborhood pocket parks. We have Orchard Park on the north side of the highway, but we could use a big park on the south side of the highway too. You could make it like really tall because there's not too much space.
Those are excellent ideas. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to see?
No, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. All right, moving on to, do we have any comments online? No citizen comments online. And for the record, Noelle Otterson Laparco has joined us online. Hello, Noelle. All right, action items. First of all, we have our proposed joint planning with the Parks and Arts Commission. Lisa Key and Jen Dial are here. Would you want to come up?
Thank you, Parks Commissioners. We had a really robust conversation on Parks level of service with our Planning Commission. And we felt like it would be a great idea to try and do a joint meeting between Planning Commission and Parks and Arts Commission. Ultimately, we recognize this is your plan, but level of service is something that the Planning Commission deals with a lot and is integral to our comprehensive plan. So we were hoping that perhaps we could schedule a joint meeting with you. We have a couple upcoming Planning Commission meetings that would be possible, or we could look at a third date that is neither your meeting. I understand you have very full agendas, so I don't want to impinge upon your schedule, but we do have a Planning Commission meeting coming up on November 12th at 4 p.m. That might be a little quick. We could certainly do that if that was your desire. Alternately, we do have a Planning Commission meeting on December 10th. And that fits quite nicely because we already had Parks Plan on that agenda. So we would love to, we could put it at the beginning of the agenda, have it as the first item on the agenda after minutes and public comment. Well, we don't do our public comment until the end. So after minutes. If you would like to do that, or we would entertain any other day that the council chambers might be available for an afternoon meeting. Planning Commission has been typically meeting twice a month. The last year and a half. But in November and December, we only meet once. So I dare say that they would be open to another meeting if those two dates, if neither of those dates works for you all.
Yeah, and just to offer on that, I'm Jen Dial. I'm the project manager for the Parks Plan with SCJ Alliance. One thing we'd like to do to prepare you all for that conversation is we're developing like a staff report that really goes into what is level of service, how is it used, what did it look like in your last Parks Plan, what is the analysis shown, what are some recommendations. We could try to get that out to you all before November 12th, but for that, a really thoughtful kind of input, the December date might give a little more time for you all to review those materials too.
Okay, so it sounds like Wednesday, December 10th is the preferred date, and that would be 4 p.m. here. Is anybody aware of a schedule conflict as long as we can, have a quorum at the discussion? Does that seem to work or not work for anyone? Okay, I don't see any head shaking. So should we tentatively set it for December 10th? And because I think it would be good for us to have the staff report, like you said prior, so it's a productive discussion.
Absolutely.
And that's right here in council chambers.
Right here in council chambers. I'll work with Jen to make sure the noticing happens for your group as well. And I thank you so much for your consideration on that.
Thanks for letting us join in because I know it is a big project and we want to definitely get it right. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Lisa, you're back up with
Yep.
the sidewalk and then the 20-year capital facilities stakeholder. I understand you need participants for each of these two groups?
That's absolutely right. So we have, there's a doodle poll out right now for the sidewalk master plan. Katie Ferris and her, the folks that she's been working with on bicycle and pedestrian committee have all been invited. We've invited several homeowners associations. We've invited Lance Beck with
Chamber?
with the chamber. We've also invited some large property owners. So the property manager for Liberty Corporate Park and the property manager for Greenstones projects, the River District, and the property manager for Centennial Properties. So we've gotten quite a few of those as well. I've also reached out to Gerald Olson with the school district to see if he could pass this along to appropriate people within his organization.
So for the sidewalk selection, is Katie representative enough of this, or would you like a second commissioner?
What I wanted to offer you is that if you wanted a second commissioner, that would be great. We are taking the work that you've done as part of the Parks Master Plan. That will be part of the inputs, the data input into this process. And just to explain the sidewalk master plan focus group steering committee, they're probably only going to meet 4 times maybe over the course. So we're going to have one kickoff meeting in December. And then we're going to have 1 or 2 in January. Some stakeholder engagement. Community Engagement Commission has committed to doing that engagement piece. SCJ Alliance is actually going to prepare the materials and so set the table for that, but community engagement is actually going to implement it. And then we'll have a final meeting or 2 following that engagement. So it is a short stint. We'll hold the meetings to 90 minutes to make sure that we're efficient with everyone's time. But the heavy lifting for this has already been done because we've done all of the data collection. Now it's a matter of processing the information.
Okay, and John, I think you had expressed an interest via email about the stakeholder 3 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, that's 2 groups.
2 different groups. So the second group is the capital facilities planning group.
Okay.
And we wanted to get at least 1 representative from each of the commissions on that, as well as our staff liaisons. And we're taking the work for these variety of master plans and feeding it into the 20-year capital facilities plan. There will be some pretty significant citizen engagement that needs to happen with that also. But we really want commissions as key informants really to help us kind of build out that 20-year plan. So I'd love to get, and John, yes, is on my list. But if anyone else is interested in participating, we'd love to have a second participant from this commission.
Okay, so it looks like we have Katie so far on sidewalks and John so far on the capital facilities. Do any commissioners have any interest in being a second party on either one of those?
No worries.
Well, I would try to squeeze in the capital facilities.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
and we'll trust Katie. You'll do such a good job on the sidewalk.
And
I'm gonna recruit some other people.
Okay,
Again,
perfect.
my intent is to try and get a kickoff meeting scheduled. It's been a little intense this week when I come back from vacation on the 12th. I hope to get that a doodle pull out to the folks who have expressed their interest. So thank you both for your interest. Thank you for your interest. And I think that it'll be fun. This is really the stuff that's gonna shape the next 20 years in our community.
Great. Well, thank you for involving us. It's greatly appreciated and for the good work that you do. You've got a lot of balls in the air, right? And a lot of juggling.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, next up is our vision memo, goals and policies from SCJ Alliance. And I'm assuming, Jen, you're back? And remember, commissioners, we're going to be doing some voting. So I hope everybody had a chance to look over things and take it away, Jen.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, we've talked a little bit back and forth about the vision statement for the parks plan. And we've gone through a few iterations. We're hoping we've landed on something that everybody can feel good about. In your packets, you should have the updated vision statement, which is just very concise, to the point. I think easy to remember, easy to refer to, and yet still captures a lot of the values and sentiments of the commission, the staff, and really the public that we heard through the engagement process we did too. So the proposed vision statement reads, "We create spaces where the community is welcomed to gather, play, and connect." I know there was a lot more that folks wanted to also kind of capture, but we ended up with, rather than a sentence, more of a paragraph format. And some folks were concerned that that's just too much vision statement. So what we did in the memo that you'll see, we captured some of those additional sentiments and community values that can go into the parks plan and kind of support that vision statement. So you'll see that in the 4 bullets below the proposed vision. So that's kind of the introduction to the topic. And then if you guys feel like you're ready to adopt that vision statement and you want to vote on that tonight, you can certainly do that. If you have further feedback, we can make refinements as well.
Well, it's
Could
certainly
we,
to have.
could we please post that on the screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
It's nice to have something that you can tag on printed materials that's easy to read. And then people can drill down after that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see this statement going on parks materials and, things that come out of the parks plan, because it is just a nice one sentence. Kind of gets to the heart of things.
I just had a quick question on the proposed vision. Is it common to start with we, or would you want it to be kind of a standalone, like Liberty Lake will create spaces? That was the only question. I thought you did a fantastic job of taking all the feedback, because I know there was a lot of different things that kind of went back and forth, and this is very concise and captured all that. So that was the only comment that I had.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point. I'm thinking of this living within the parks plan, which will be an obvious, a city document. But I don't think there's anything wrong with changing that so it can fully stand alone, independent of the parks plan, saying the city of Liberty Lake rather than we. That might be a nice update, just to be totally clear.
Well, then it really can stand alone, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's a good idea.
David, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's great feedback. Do you want to vote on the vision statement now with the attached community values with Laura's suggested edit?
Sure.
We'll need a motion.
I move that
I
we,
move,
go ahead, David.
no, go ahead. You got it.
I move that we adopt the proposed vision. We create spaces where the community is welcome to gather, play, and connect, and the attached community values.
Are you saying your motion is with the edit that Laura suggested about the city of Liberty Lake replacing we?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's the motion. Do we have a second?
Second that.
Thank you, David. Any discussion on the motion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, please show that passes unanimously. Moving on to our goals.
Yes. So yeah, the next agenda item that we just wanted your feedback on and make sure that we're on the right track in terms of these being the draft goals and policies that we put into the draft parks plan. We had another document within your packets. I don't know if you have it available to bring up, but it's the goal and policy framework. And we essentially took all the goals and policies from your current parks plan, feedback from the community staff and all of you, and we reorganized the goals. I think you had over 50 different goals and policies in the previous plan. And some of them, once we took a closer look at them, they really read more like an implementation action. And so you'll see that we've reorganized things also by category. These, for example, that you see on the screen right now are categorized by trails and connectivity. So we noticed some themes. Previously, it was just a long list of goals and policies, not necessarily organized by topic. And so we organized them and then we divided them by goal, policy, or an action item. And so we're hoping this is a little more easy to follow for all of you as you're looking at your projects and things like that. And then we noticed where there were some redundancies or similarities and we tried to merge or simplify language. Some things had already been completed or, were no longer relevant. So those things were removed. So we're hoping this is a more streamlined, easy to follow kind of path for you all to move forward with the various goals and policies, and are also reflective of just some of the new priorities that we've heard out of the process as well. So essentially, we're just looking for your approval that this is the draft set of goals and recommendations that you would like to put forth in the draft parks plan as we move into stage 2 of the planning process.
Well, thank you for reorganizing this. It's so much easier to read. Greatly appreciated.
Happy to do so.
Any discussion on the goals and policies any edits something glaring? Katie?
I was just wondering, like on the actions, can we speak to that at all? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering on the actions on the public art section, it was talking about getting the Community Engagement Commission's input, on the public art. And I was wondering, can you do that through surveys too, or,
Yeah.
I was just wondering, it seems like to get their input faster, we might want to do like a survey rather than just be at public events.
Well,
Thanks.
correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but I think the Community Engagement Commission has a number of tools, including surveys that they're using. So
Yeah.
to me, that's sort of implied that they will use whatever tools that are at their resources they have to gather that information, that this is more of a broad statement. Would that be correct?
Yeah, this was reflective of a goal that was in the previous plan, and it read more as an action to us. It seemed to kind of the intent behind it seemed to be that there'd be coordination between this commission and the Engagement Commission, so that when you're working on, public art projects, that they could help facilitate some of those conversations with the public, I think is what that was getting at.
And I would add, to help answer the question that Nancy posed, is whether the Community Engagement Commission was involved directly or indirectly with the Parks and Arts Commission in taking this action. Both would be able to access any tool that the city has. So that wouldn't be a limiting factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? If not, we'll need a motion to accept these proposed goals and policies as presented.
I'll move to approve the draft goal and policy framework.
I second that.
Okay, and we have moved by Laura and seconded by David. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, please show that this is passed unanimously. And thank you so much for working with us and listening to all our input, and it's greatly appreciated.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. All right, next up is the Kramer Corner Utility Box wrap. And Laura, just want to give a brief overview on where we are in the selection process?
Yeah, so at the last meeting, we had kind of looked at previous submissions that had ranked high. And then after we took another look and realized that the boxes are actually separated by quite a bit. So we felt that it was best to have two different art pieces rather than one that would cover, like when they were back to back, we thought it would just wrap around the two together essentially. With the space difference between them, it just didn't really make sense. So what I did I don't know if Jen, if you're able to pull it up for those that are online. I put the pixelated piece that we selected at the last meeting together with the two pieces from Karen that had also ranked high in the discussion, and just put them.
If you hold it up, they can probably see you too.
I don't know how well that is, but I put them side by side just so you could kind of see how they would look together. So one is more of what I'll call a blue hued piece, and then the other one is more of a blue green. So we really just need to finalize the which one of Karen's pieces we would like to use. And the only thing that I'd like to mention is keeping in mind that there is an art piece going relatively close to these boxes that will also be very colorful. So, yeah.
So what's your recommendation?
I mean, for me personally, I like the blue hue just because I feel like it'll look really nice on the box without being too bright to potentially detract from the sculpture. But they really both look beautiful. But for me personally, I like the slightly muted one just because I think it'll blend in a little bit better.
David?
That's the first slide, correct, Laura? Slide on the left?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. I think your point is very well taken.
So I guess we can refer to them as horizontal and vertical.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? If not, we'll need a motion to approve one of the two images up there. And Laura's recommending the one with the horizontal blue hued art to go with the one we've already selected.
I move that we take the horizontal slide number 1 for our wraps for the Kramer Parkway
Okay,
utility boxes.
Second.
all right. David has moved and Noel has, I think that was Noel, has seconded to use the image number 1, which is the image we already selected because there's 2 boxes. And then for the second box, the horizontal blue hued muted wrap. So all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, please show the motion is passed unanimously, and we now have our Kramer Corner Utility Box Wrap, another project. Woo!
Can I
Mhm.
add next,
Oh.
next steps?
Are
Just,
you taking away our?
I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna add to your thunder. I'm adding lightning to the thunder.
Okay.
So I had a conversation with STCU and have been going back and forth with Commissioner Heimbaugh. It sounds like now that we have made decisions and I've got invoices gathered from CW Wraps for all 4 boxes at the 2 corners. And then we have artists identified, so now we can start putting together invoices for that to turn into STCU. And it's not 100% yet, but she was certain that they were going to cover, STCU is going to cover all of those expenses. So,
Great.
yeah, so that's awesome. They want to cover the art stipends and the wraps. So that will alleviate some of our budget for this year. And as soon as I have the details worked out with STCU, I'll be taking that to council for approval.
Okay, well, thank you.
And Jen, can you follow up with Nick as well? Because I know they have a time constraint. He wanted to get it done sooner than later, obviously, with the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before I go any farther, for the record, Mark McAvoy, our city administrator, is here. For some reason, you're not in my line of sight. I didn't say your name, but anyway, Mark is here and we appreciate your attendance. We always seem to have a question when you're here, so.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, next agenda item is the legacy utility box wrap, which is probably not going to be a vote, but Laura, where are we on this project now?
Yeah, so at the October meeting, we had voted and approved to move forward with commissioning Megan Perkins as the artist. Since then I have spoken with her. She has the bandwidth to do the project. I indicated that our goal was to try to get this complete yet this year, and she was on board with that. So she is working on her art right now. She's working on a proposal for us. I connected her with Jen so we can hopefully get her set up in the system as an approved vendor. And once we have the artwork, it should be a seamless.
So the question is that artwork going to come to the commission for approval at the next meeting? And then that puts us in
Well, that's
December?
what I wasn't sure how that works because we're commissioning her. So we've already approved to do that. Do we then need to, because I don't know that there's going to be back and forth on the art. We told her that we wanted something patriotic themed because that's the start of the Hometown Heroes.
I mean,
roadway,
it's up to
and
the
so-
commission if they're comfortable, but
Yes,
we
we
can't
didn't
do
know how we-
approvals. We can't do approvals or anything like that through emails.
Yeah,
So
no,
it'd have to
we-
be in person if that is the desire. So I'll leave it to whatever the commission.
So Laura, you, in the commission, we're asking the artist call out, she'll just provide us one for each box. She's not going to provide multiple designs. Is that correct?
That is my understanding. I can clarify with her, but we commissioned her to do 2 pieces for the 2 boxes.
So I see what you're saying, Jen. So we either have a choice to say, we're hiring this artist, they're going to do the work, and we're going to accept the work because we chose the artist. Otherwise, we will have to wait, see the work, and then approve it and move on. And if we don't approve it, we're we still, they get the stipend and.
Correct.
Correct.
And so with STCU sponsoring the whole thing, I mean, it doesn't hit our budget one way or the other, right, for this year. So if the commission wants to have the opportunity to look at the art pieces submitted and then approve to move forward, it would likely put the actual wrap project into spring. But again, if we're not trying to hit a budget thing this year, then that's not as significant of an issue. We are receiving what we have commissioned her to do this year. And so that would
Yeah.
get submitted to
So I-
you for payment.
Right. I think what STCU wants to do, their preference is to actually take the lump sum and donate that lump to the city, and then the city will
Oh, versus
portion it out and
paying
make the
directly?
payments. Right.
Okay.
I don't, she wasn't sure which way the STCU was gonna go on that, because we've done it both ways in the past. They
Yeah.
prefer in the past to just do a lump sum. If that happens, then that donation goes into its own fund.
Mhm.
And I will just have to notate with Kyle, and I'm not quite sure how that works, but I'll have to specify to make sure that that donation
That's for the-
goes to 26, which it should. If it's a donation, it hasn't been used.
Right.
It's not gonna just go away like a regular budget
Correct.
item. So it will draw, as we pay, as the city pays the artists and pays CW, it will draw out of that fund, that particular donation line. So I
Yeah.
think we'll be okay.
I mean, it's an interesting discussion point regardless, as we look at commissioning, because we've also talked about commissioning for a couple murals next year versus doing an open call. So it would be I think we want to define what that process should look like, because if we're doing commission work on multiple pieces, I think we want to be consistent in how we handle it.
And I think traditionally, the commission in the past has always had either an option of art to choose from or approved the final piece as a whole. Without, I mean, it's not been sight unseen.
No, I'm just thinking about the art in Trailhead, the whimsical map. Wasn't that a commission piece, and didn't we ask for an adjustment on it?
We did a call to artists.
Yeah.
We did ask for an adjustment on it as well. But that was an open call. I mean, it was
Yeah, that was.
commissioned, but we didn't go directly to her. We had.
But
to
once
call and
we
receive proposals.
commissioned the artist and they were going to do it, then was it after that we asked for the adjustment?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So I think this is a conversation we can carry on. Especially once Karen comes on, Karen Mobley.
Yeah.
She can really weigh in on this. If we can just kind of get through this last wrap set of boxes in whatever fashion the commission did. I know that we're under the timeline of weather, we're under the timeline of end of the year. But if we can maybe just sort of piece this out, figure it out, all agree on it, move forward. And then when Karen comes on in January, we can really dial in a process. That would be my suggestion. But
Yeah, because this is going to touch a lot of projects.
Mhm.
All right, well, I guess our decision is if we think we want to get this done this year because of weather, our probably only hope of that is to just approve or just accept what the artist brings forward. Otherwise, we may have to understand that it might be carried over, which we don't have it carried over as a budget item, but if it's a donation, then that's a non-issue. So discussion, what's the pleasure of the commission on this particular piece, understanding we're going to need a policy moving forward?
What is CW's confidence in completing this year? I mean,
Uh,
regardless of this.
You know, it's, all he says is it's weather dependent. Well, we're November 12th and we've been lucky to have almost 60-degree weather, a lot of rain. He can't do it in the rain. He's also, I will say, very hard to get a hold of. And I think David Heimbach can attest to that. He's not
Yes.
super responsive, so that means it slows everything down. He's very busy and that definitely has slowed down my process with him, and I think as well with David.
So realistically, for the second wrap, we're likely, I mean.
Yeah, we
not
might
to
as well
borrow
just
trouble,
wait.
but.
Bring
I
it.
would say, I would agree.
Yeah, all right. So if that's the case, I don't think we necessarily need a vote. We'll just wait for the artist to come back with the pieces and then we'll yay or nay it, and then we'll move forward, understanding it probably won't be till spring on this piece and putting that on our priority list once we get the consultant in of how that's normally handled and have a written policy, I think, for.
Yeah, because this is, I mean, this is new for us, right? We have not done it. Historically, we've done an open call,
Yeah.
a selection panel.
And then
um,
approval.
And then
vote.
approval. So
Yeah.
this is new and
Yeah.
we don't
And we
have a process in place. for
And we
it.
probably will need to do more of this like, in order to match the mural at Pavilion and some of that, so.
Exactly.
Okay. Moving on, did everyone have a chance to review the Rainbow Bridge project proposal? That was from Mara Crawwell, owner operator of Popular Companions. It is a funded project and we can certainly discuss it, but we are under a time constraint today just because city council is using the room later. So is there any discussion on the item? Otherwise, if you want to move forward with approving the project proposal, and then
We could bring her in.
we can bring her in probably for the next meeting and we can talk about the details and discuss it a little bit more, but we don't want to bring her in unless it's a project that we're interested in moving forward.
I think it sounds like a great project.
I love the idea.
Agreed.
I love it too. Me too.
Is there a proposed location?
Not
or
yet.
an idea, or that's something?
No,
I think
and
a park is pretty much where
Yeah.
we don't know which one.
I was thinking that if we approve the proposal, that maybe Jen could ask her team to kind of scout out the parks and bring back a handful of places where they think it might work, and then we can also have Mara come in.
Yeah. And then on the permitting and maintenance and all that stuff, is that things
That's
that you
doable.
guys have all,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, what she lined out is
Yeah.
very doable. Yeah.
No, I think it's an exciting project.
All right, well, we'll need a motion to accept the project proposal and to move forward to the next step.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, moved by David, seconded by Gary. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, please show the motion is passed unanimously. And Jen, will you reach out to Mara maybe and invite her to our next meeting and get with your team?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Moving on, the Bree Camp. Mikhail.
Hi, I'll be quick. So I had a gentleman reach out, Wes Pitter. He does a bricks camp, which is basically Lego.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I must have been hungry.
It's a Lego type camp. It's a summer camp. It's a 1 week camp. He just did it with the city of Post Falls last year, and he's looking to do it out here in Washington. He's starting to reach out to us, Spokane Valley and Spokane. And it's a 1 week camp where he would work with kids and do Lego competition builds. So talk about engineering and design through Lego. So he does different themes, and then it does different sessions, and it ages 7 through 14. So I just had him fill out the presentation or the proposal form just to gauge interest, to see if there is interest, if you want to hear from him directly, if you want me to discuss things with him and start moving forward with some type of negotiation to see if it is feasible for us to do. Some of the concerns I have would be, he would like an indoor location, which we're very limited on. I could put my thinking cap on and try to find something. There are some options. That would be my major concern. He doesn't want to do it outdoors.
Does this conflict with any of the programming that the library currently does?
No, it's fairly different. The one that I've seen from the library is the kids come and build things. This is very focused on the science base of building and engineering.
I mean, people here are always looking for activities for kids in summer, so, I mean, I love the idea of that. And if there's an expense with the location, then they would be responsible for that?
Yeah, it would be some part of the negotiation, what we do and what we provide and don't provide, and then percentage that we would take. So like I said, I'm just looking to see what the commission would like to see, if they'd like to hear more from him, or if they're fine with the general idea, then I can start doing a little more in-depth discussion with him and see if it's even possible for next year or not.
Okay, so if it's the pleasure of the commission, we can vote to accept the proposal and move forward to next step, understanding Mikhail's going to be involved in some negotiations and maybe if you do want to move forward, do you have an interest in the individual coming here and presenting, or just have Mikhail work with him and report back? So discussion, thoughts?
I'm familiar with his program and I think it's great, but it might be of some interest to have him just come and present in case anyone has any further questions.
Any other comments? Well, if we want to have a motion to move forward with the proposal, and then maybe if you did some preliminary discussion with them and if it looks like it's doable from the city side, then we would have them come in and present at December. But I'd rather do a little bit of that legwork before we bring him up.
Do you think he could do it at the library?
If they have the availability, I know they have a lot of programming. I'm not sure what their program looks like summertime, but their room is pretty busy. So I think there's options out there. I would just have to do a little digging and see if it's feasible or not.
All right, do we want to have a motion, or do we want to pass, or what's your pleasure?
I agree with Noel. I think it'd be good to have them come and present. I'd also be curious, you know, to Katie's point, if the library has the availability or to somehow tie it, because I know they do displays throughout the summer. So that might be a fun way of kind of wrapping up the camp of having the creations displayed. And I know they've in the past at least had community votes and prizes and things like that. So I don't know if there's any way to collaborate or if these are just two completely separate activities and need to remain that way. So I'd just be maybe curious to learn more.
Well, remember, voting to move to approve the concept of the proposal is not approving the class until we get more information. So what's the pleasure?
Right. I'll move that we move forward with the project proposal.
Okay, so Noelle has moved. We move forward with the proposal and we'll gather more information and then we can decide. Do we have a second on the motion?
I'll second.
Second.
All right, Laura, second the motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, please show the motion has passed unanimously. And looks like, Mikhail, you're up again with our co-sponsorship follow-up.
Yes, so last month we talked about having some guidelines for staff with co-sponsorship of community events. And one of the questions we did have was regarding nonprofits and for-profit business wanting a co-sponsorship with the city. And so I was asked to discuss it with the city's legal department, and they have said they would suggest us sticking with the nonprofit and not entertaining the option of partnering with a for-profit company in this co-sponsorship guidelines.
Did they say why?
So part of it was because we had discussed for-profit if they're doing like a nonprofit type event where all the money is being donated.
Like the Muttstrut event, which we discussed, where the proceeds go to a nonprofit.
Yeah, and he said it's a sticky point because then the city would potentially have to review their records. What are they donating? Are they donating at all? Are they donating staff time? Are they not donating staff time for their staff that's there manning the event? And so having to review company's records to make sure everything is getting donated, it just opens up a can of worms. It was his thought process.
Yeah, I doubt that it would be worth it to the company.
Yes.
To do that. So, okay. All right, understood. So are these sponsorship rules and guidelines as presented then the last time, or?
Yes, it's the same as last time.
So for clarification on that though, if it is a for-profit doing something that's raising funds for a nonprofit, they can still do a normal event permit and have signs placed throughout the city and still be advertising for the event within the city.
It just would not gain the additional city services of in the kiosk, potentially on the reader board, things of that nature.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification, Laura.
So
Alright.
I'm looking for a motion, what the commission would like, if they'd like to move forward with what we discussed last time.
Okay, so motion to approve the sponsorship rules and guidelines. What's the pleasure of the commission?
I'll move to approve. I'd still be curious if this can somehow be tied into the event permitting. Just I guess as an end user, having to fill out multiple requests. And administratively, it seems like it might be more efficient to be able to combine those.
Is that something that would be needed to be added to these guidelines or?
I don't know if it's just a different section on the event permit.
Yeah.
Where you can just request co-sponsorship and then provide the information that's needed. I guess the only caveat is it looks like you have a window of time that you're trying to collect all these within.
Yeah, and the thought process behind that is just to not overburden the commission as well, because the commission would be part of the deciding factor. And so instead of doing them randomly as they appear, we have a set time and potentially a subcommittee of the commission that reviews them, approves them twice a year instead of 4 or 5 times.
So was that a motion? We got sidelined.
I did move. I just moved to approve it as presented with maybe looking into if it can be combined with the event permit.
Yeah, and honestly, that I believe it can be housed in the same area with the information, so you don't have to go searching for, and that's very doable.
Okay, do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
All right, John has the second. Any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Please show the motion is passed unanimously. Moving on to our unfinished and new business, Boulder Art Update. Wow, that's the update. Okay. No, Laura, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, in your packet, you'll find pictures. 21 boulders around Orchard Park that the ones that were deemed safety hazards, as well as many others, were painted just to make it more playful, more vibrant, incorporate into the park. It's complete. Phase 1 is complete for this year. If we wanted to entertain looking at additional rocks in future years, we can, but there are pictures in the packet. If you haven't been to the park, please go. It is spectacular. They did a phenomenal job. When I spoke with both artists, they said the feedback from people within the park was overwhelmingly positive. So great project. I think it was a huge success.
Yeah, it's really stunning. I had to go rush right over and so I guess as we move forward and have funding for some of our beautification, we'll have to take a look and see if there's any more boulders if we want to continue that kind of theme. I don't know if your team, Jen, has established any other safety issues other than primarily around the splash pad, which was our focus this time, but something to think about as we move into the next year. But yeah, great project. Looks incredible. If you haven't been there, you should really go look.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive comments from people too, that walk their dogs and things too around the park area.
Great.
I really like it.
All right. Well, thank you for that update. Our goat sculpture update, you can see in the packet, we have a little more description of the project and the artist kind of conceptual image of the project. It's going to be pretty cool welcoming people into Town Square Park. He had plans on doing the project over the winter because it's a lot of welding and creates warmth, I guess. He said he doesn't do the work in the summer, but he's confident he can bring the project in under the timeline of getting it done and installed next year. So we're pretty excited about. There's some logistical details we need to work out as far as building permits for the installation and how the electrical might work for the sound feature. But those are things that we'll continue to work through as the project unfolds. Any questions? Did you have anything, Jen?
No, I was just gonna comment on the sound. That's something we need to investigate further because that wasn't on the original proposal. That will cost additional funding. So I don't know what that is at this point. If that's comes about where we can pinpoint how much that electrical is going to cost, then we can bring it to the commission for approval. So,
Jen, can you post that picture on the screen, please? The concept,
yes,
you have it available?
I do.
I do think adding on to the electrical portion, Karen brought up a good point about maintenance. So I think that's something that we definitely want to understand before deciding to move forward with it, understanding that there'll be additional costs for engineering and permitting.
Agreed.
Yeah, John.
When I was thinking of the goats, I was originally thought of a stylized version like the moose over in Coeur d'Alene
Oh,
instead of, are these more lifelike goats versus a kind of a stylized? Because I was thinking kind of Disney-like. First, I don't know.
No, I would say these are definitely more lifelike and, but they're be forged out of steel, but he's gonna make sure they don't have sharp edges so that kids can interact with them and pat them and stand by them. And I think that's one reason he wanted the sound to make it more interesting for kids. But I suppose that requires a little more investigation on the permitting side. And if we have to tell them we can't accommodate the sound because of cost, then because that's, unless he can absorb the cost.
But I was just thinking of, when I thought of the goats, I thought of the Coeur d'Alene goat or the Coeur d'Alene moose. And the Coeur d'Alene moose appears in lots of photographs, I think, because of the expression of the moose. So I was wondering if he could, have some kind of expression of some sort, or.
I think we're probably past I mean, they'll have some kind of expression, but future project, I mean, maybe we have a goat image of the Coeur d'Alene moose and like there's a story that connects them and they're spread out all over Liberty Lake, which, how they did in Coeur d'Alene could be an idea for a future project, but we're pretty well down. I think they're going to have some kind of features as best you can with steel, a steel sculpture. But they're not as whimsical because the Coeur d'Alene ones are more of aren't they fiberglass or something?
Yeah.
Or
Not sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was bronze.
Yeah, more.
They're painted. So it's.
Well, they're painted,
it's
yeah.
not just-
Whatever the material is under it, they're painted. So you can do a lot more with painting. But I think that's a great idea for future. This, we follow the city council's recommendation. This will not be our only goats. Any other questions or comments? But I certainly understand what you're saying. I think a whimsical goat probably is in our future somewhere.
Good.
Okay, city birthday art. If you recall, we had put in our budget for the carousel figures as part of the birthday art at Pavilion Park. And Laura and I had the pleasure of meeting with the artist who has done a lot of pieces in the area and some in Sandpoint, and has come up with a drawing and a design for these two carousel pieces. The question at hand, before we go too much further, is it's going to be this unveiling at the birthday celebration next 4th of July, which the artist believes he can make that deadline to have it installed by them. And we'd like some element of surprise for the birthday art. That said, everything we do is part of a public record and it's already in our budget. So I don't know what's your thoughts on what we should share and how we should go about this to have some element of surprise of the unveil. Am I saying that right? Mark, do you have a comment?
I guess my comment would be, there are often things that wind up on an agenda that someone brings forward for approval that exist exclusively in the text of the agenda item. And so that's not all that unusual,
Mhm.
right? Really, it comes down to what the appetite of the commission is for bringing something that is unveiled at the anniversary celebration that's completely unseen. And if that is important, there are ways, legal ways that can occur. But to your point, everything that is submitted is a public record, and we would be obligated to fulfill any request for public records.
And it certainly, we can afford 2 carousel pieces. And this artist can deliver them by the deadline. So do you guys want it to be a surprise, or what are your thoughts?
And the question is, do you want it to be a surprise to you all as well as council, or do you want to see the picture weigh in, have an opinion, vote on the design, whatever?
I
think we should see it.
Okay. My thought is, for the average person that's going to be attending the birthday celebration and you go, whoo, this is going to be a surprise. And Laura?
Can we do it within our meetings where it is just paper copies that the commissioners receive at the meeting, or does it have to be emailed out? I'm just trying to think of a way.
It's still public. It's still public.
I know it's still public record, but if we're reviewing it, so it's not necessarily on the screen, or how does that work? So for those that want to see it and weigh in, and it's a little bit of a balance regardless, because within, with the artist submitting, unless we have strong objections to what he's proposing, in general, there is some artistic element to it that we want him to maintain control of, right? That's
Yeah.
what we are hiring him to do.
And if you remember at our last meeting, we did give authority for Ross Schneidmiller for his family to pick one of the carousel figures.
When I spoke with them, they provided a list of ones that they thought would be great, but they waived the desire to pick a specific one, and said they would be surprised at the unveiling as well. Ironically enough, but both of the ones that the artist selected in this proposal were on their list, so.
So if I can just answer Laura's question, and I want to disclaim this by saying nothing I'm saying here is a recommendation. There's no requirement that you project images of things that you're discussing, right? So that isn't a requirement of your meetings. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
So we could email it out then.
Yeah, I mean, we could email it out. We can have paper copies for the commissioners. I don't know, Jen, from you and the park staff, are you guys wanting?
Do
it
we need
be
to
a
sign an
surprise,
NDA?
or
Non-disclosure?
no, wanting it to be a surprise for the community? Are you?
We'll defer to you all.
So I think Nancy made a great point. With the number of people that pay attention to commission and council meetings, I don't know that many people are going to see it, regardless of how often it's shared. And so when the event comes, I think the unveiling will be a surprise to the vast majority of people who are there to see it.
When's the artist agreement come before council?
So it's 2nd November.
Second meeting in November, or first meeting of December, hopefully.
So I'm sorry, I think I should just pass something around right now.
David has left, by the way. The meeting, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a surprise. Just the timing will be the tricky part with Jen's staff when it's installed, is it covered up then for a week or something
It's like
before
nailed in flat.
the 4th
Yeah.
of July, something like that?
Yeah, we'll be able to,
Yeah.
we'll be able to cover
Yeah,
what
I mean,
it is,
that-
yeah.
And the installation itself won't, I mean, it's the time consuming piece is going to be the engineered base,
Mhm.
right? The actual
Mhm.
mounting of the pieces.
Oh,
It's not like
and-
they'll be sitting out for weeks.
And the artist
With-
said that they have worked with a structural engineer, so they'll provide a stamped diagram of the mounting so that we won't have to incur that expense. He will incur that expense. So that's good because it's expensive for us too.
I mean, I think it's something that can be shared within the commission. I think, to your point, there's not going to be a lot of updates along the way other
Yeah.
than, yes, it's still an on-time delivery for the unveiling.
Why don't you send out the proposal with the drawings via email to the
I think
commissioners?
the big question is going to be, do we share it with the council members? Or do we present it in a way where if they want it to be a surprise as well?
She'll email it out, but I'll just pass out the one sheet of paper around the room today, but
I want to see this.
Yes. Well, somebody wants to be.
Yeah.
All right, we'll email that out to the commissioners. They give you a look and yeah, we're really lucky to get an artist of his caliber when I was so impressed with the meeting. And the fact, and how many carryovers we have, that we can actually get an artist now and they're going to deliver the piece by the time is nothing short of a miracle. So.
No, I mean, touching on what Nancy said, he incredibly talented, very professional, came to the meeting with a full proposal, sketch concept, like just, I think to your point, a very high caliber artist. And again, the fact that he can meet that tight deadline is incredible and very exciting.
When you get a copy of the packet, the one interesting thing he brought up is potentially over time, do we want to have a full carousel of figures? And you'll see when you get the packet in the mail. Anyway, interesting thought.
It is.
Yeah. All right, sent. Anything else on the birthday art? Okay, Pavilion Historical Outlook, and I can't remember what we talked about last time, so.
The only update on this is it has, since the last meeting, it has transitioned to a full donation.
Okay.
So we are removing it from we didn't have it as a carryover anyway,
Yeah.
but it will be fully funded by the donor.
And do we anticipate it will occur sometime in 2026?
Yes.
The
Okay.
donation or the install?
Yes.
Yes and yes,
Yes.
okay. Just keep me in the loop so I can make sure the donation goes to council.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's very generous of the Historical Society and they know it was creating kind of a budget hangup for us, so we're really appreciative of their commitment to the project. All right, Kramer, Liberty Lake Together, 2024 update.
Yeah, so I spoke with the artist today, actually. She sent me a note. Everything is out for powder coating. They'll have it back and complete in about 10 days. So let's say 2 weeks to be conservative, they can have it delivered here. We did require a engineered foundation, and it sounds like we're gonna need to plan and budget for this on future projects. And so that has been approved. Ben helped us with working with a professional engineer. It's out for bid now. Ideally, if the weather holds, there's no reason we can't pour the concrete and still get these installed this year. But we will, the bulk of the budget line item at least is the art itself, and it will be delivered to the city before the end of the year, which is what she was contracted to do. So that
So we
payment
can
will
make
be
the
made.
artist final payment this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on that? I'm super excited to see it and hope the weather holds enough to
Me
get that foundation poured. All right. Moving on to the staff report.
We don't have much on there that we haven't already discussed. Did you want to mention anything on Home for the Holidays? Just super quick. While he's coming up, Parks and Golf Course, they are all winterized for the season, so we're shifting into winter mode. And then we're updating on everything else. So Home for the Holidays.
Just super quick, I just kind of give you an update. So everything's open that requires registration. So the Battle of the Branches, the decorating the trees, and the decorating the home contest. Registration, both those are open. That's free to register for. We already have about 5 people registered to do trees at Trailhead or at Orchard, 3 at Trailhead. None here at City Hall yet. We got our first registrant for the home decorating contest today
And
morning.
we have 2 donations on the agenda this evening for City Council to approve for Home for the Holidays.
Yeah, so we'll have end up a total of 4 sponsors for the event as well. Community.
And we have Liberty Lake Better Together Foundation's Rock Garden on the agenda for approval for that donation approval tonight.
Oh, for the rock garden.
Yeah. And then
That's all I have for.
okay, thank you. And then last thing, real quick, 2 things. We'll have a council report on November 18th.
I can do that.
Nancy, okay, I'll put together the slides if you will just send me what you want.
Yep.
And then as I mentioned before, at every meeting, I'm going to reprint an updated version of this. And if you look in the expenditures column, it shows the most recent payments that we've approved and sent to artists and any budget costs associated with projects so that you can see the ongoing, what we've spent up to this point year to date and what we have left to go. And so if you look at that expenditure line item, that will be the most changing hopefully every meeting will have artist costs and things like that getting paid out. So that is all I have.
Hey, any questions on the staff report? Our next meeting is December 1. I'm sure those are on the different committees. Lisa will be in touch via your email, so keep abreast of that. And I guess all we need now is a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a move by Laura, seconded by Gary to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.